This is the new Jaguar E-Pace, and you can think of it as an F-Pace that's been put through Facetune to make it look more youthful. Now, if you're wondering what Facetune is, it's an app which can make you look younger. Look, there's me pre-Facetune, all wrinkly and old looking. There's me after it, all beautiful and youthful. Ironically though, the E-Pace isn't based on the F-Pace mechanicals. It actually shares its mechanicals with the ageing Range Rover Evoque. Now, more about that later because it does matter. So this car, it starts from just over £28,000, but through Carwow you can get it from just over £26,000. Now, if you want to see how much you can save on an E-Pace or any car for that matter, click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen or on the link below the video to go to carwow.com. You can tell that Jaguar's tried to make this E-Pace feel like one of its sports cars here on the inside. The way the cockpit is angled towards the driver, you're separated from your passenger, and the swooping dash, it's kind of sporty, though this expansive dash does look a little bit bland. Quality is generally good in most parts, but there are a few cheap-feeling plastics about the place. At least all this stuff, all the controls for the ventilation system, are easy to use. You don't have to go through the touchscreen. Now, speaking of the touchscreen, this has the upgraded Navi Pro system. It's all right to use, but when you compare it to the stuff that you get with the Germans like Audi, BMW, and even Mercedes' latest system, and Volvo's, it's just not so good, I'm afraid. Sorry, Jaguar, it's just not. Now, if you want to see my full in-depth video review of this infotainment system, click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen or on the link below the video. Now, I need to explain the different equipment levels. So generally, equipment on this car is pretty good, but there's two different versions to choose from. The standard car or a dynamic model which has more sporty bits of trim, and then there's the option packs you need to add. So for instance, this larger screen comes with the S pack, and that adds some of the bits and pieces. This particular car has the SE pack, which includes multi-adjustable electric seats, which actually, look, you can raise them up pretty high. So if you're short, you can get this thing up pretty high. Look at that. And yeah, generally then the view is all right. Also, this SE comes with a Meridian sound system, which is really, really good. The quality is epic. You can upgrade further to an HSE car, but that is starting to get expensive. In fact, this car is pretty expensive already. So this SE, with a 2-litre diesel with 180 horsepower and all-wheel drive automatic gearbox, it will cost you £39,500. But I put the details into Carwow and got an offer back from a dealer for just over £37,000. Now, one thing that Jaguar likes to brag about with this car is the amount of cubby space in here. So apparently there's almost 60 litres of storage space. So yeah, the glove box, that's big. Space in the central cubby, that's big. You've got large cup holders there. Got some extra space there. Huge, huge, huge door bins. Look at this. This bottle is lost in there. And it's the same story in the back as well. So rear passengers, you can have a huge bottle as well in terms of space for you. It's actually all right, you know. This one's got the panoramic glass roof, which would eat into headspace, and I've still got enough headroom, so people over 6 foot will just about be fine. Legroom's good as well. What's not so good, though, is foot space. So the issue is the runners for the seat in front, they just get in the way, so your feet just feel slightly cramped if you're doing longer journeys in the back of this car. You can chill out a bit by just folding that down if you want to. You've got some little cup holders there as well. One thing to note, though, is that the windowsill line is quite high, so kids might find it a bit hard to peer out. But other than that, the windows are quite big. Now, let's move on to the boot. So, the capacity, it's a little bit behind that of its rivals, but it's still reasonably large. So there you go. And it's quite a useful square shape as well. There's hardly any load lip to lift stuff over. I can just slide this straight out. And under here you've got a little bit of extra storage if you need it, and there's various features. I've got a runaway case. It's a bit windy today. You've got some useful features like a 12-volt charging socket there, so you can hoover out the boot if your dog's been in there, left hairs everywhere. There's tethering points which are nice and strong. They feel solid. You could tether something pretty heavy, maybe a suitcase, to stop it blowing away. There's extra storage here as well. If you want to fold down the rear seats, you just have to lean in a little bit, and there you go. You can do it quite easily. In some cars, you actually have to run round and do it from the back doors, but there you go, and that's what you're left with. A reasonably flat floor, which makes it easy to slide things to the front. Now, I would actually show you that right now, but I've got to go get my case. Be back. I'm back. Right, look, slide things to the front, but they will slide back down a little bit. Now, if you want more detail on this car's practicality, click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen or on the link below the video, and you'll be able to see just how much stuff you can squeeze into this car's boot, what it's like with 3 people in the back seat, and how easy it is to fit a child seat. Now then, it's time for the Carwow 5 annoying things about this car. There is a clear lack of attention to detail in certain areas. For instance, the way the stitching here really doesn't line up. The rear windows don't go all the way down, which is a bit annoying if you're the kind of person who likes to lean out and rest their arms. See, look, he can't do it. It's painful for his little paws. And like with some other SUVs, you can't store the parcel shelf underneath the false floor. Look, there's not enough room. And if you think that's all you've got to store in the car if you want to fully load this thing up, there's also this bit as well. So you've got to put that there. Yeah, takes a bit of room. You have to pay extra for the 360-degree bird's eye view camera system, which isn't a bad thing, but what is annoying is that the image you get is just so small, it's almost useless. So what's also a bit annoying, the fact that this angled sat-nav screen does pick up a lot of glare from the sun. For instance, if I move out the way, remove my shade, you're not going to be able to see anything. You ready? Here you go. You can't adjust the height of the seatbelt, so if it's not right for you, tough. Thankfully, this car has plenty of cool features, which helps make up for all this. Here's 5. If you want a tow, but you don't want the hassle of fitting a tow bar yourself, well, you don't have to with this car. Look at that. Ooh, now, am I just pleased to see you? Have I got an electrically deployable tow bar? Just so you know, that's a £1,000 option, though. See this? That is an airbag for a pedestrian, so if you accidentally hit someone, it should pop out and cushion the blow. The E-Pace is available with internet connectivity. That includes a browser if you want to search the internet. It also enables the car to be used as a Wi-Fi hotspot so that people can use the car's internet on their devices. There's 3 USB charging ports here in the back, so everyone can keep their mobile devices topped up with charge, so your kids will stay quiet on long journeys. You'd have to talk to them. You see this? Now, that may look like a Fitbit, but it's actually Jaguar's activity key. The idea is that you can put your keys inside the car, and then you can lock the car using that, and it's waterproof. So if you want to go off and do some kind of, there we go, just lock the car, some crazy water-based activities with your dog, don't know why you would, yeah, you won't ruin your key. And when you're done with your activities, you can come back and unlock the car again. There we go. Yes, that's the shortest walk you've ever had, isn't it? Still happy. Thick as anything it is. There you go. Bye, dog. Be good. Yes. Don't worry, I'll be fine. To drive, Jaguars normally feel kind of like light, sporty, eager, and fun. I've got to say, this does not feel like a Jaguar to drive, unfortunately. But like I said at the beginning, that's because actually underneath it's pretty much based on a Range Rover Evoque. And as a result, it's quite heavy. So yeah, it's actually heavier, this E-Pace, than the F-Pace, even though the F-Pace is the bigger car. And that does hamper the way it drives. To stop it rolling over in the corners, they're fitted quite firm suspension, so yeah, it doesn't roll much, but any bump, you feel it through your backside. It's constantly like bouncing down the road. It's just not smooth at all. Another thing that's not great is the steering, so it just doesn't feel Jaguar-like. It's not terrible, it's just not as good as I expected it to be. In terms of the engines, well, the engines have to work hard because of this car's weight, so yeah, if I put my foot down in this 180 horsepower diesel, it makes a bit of a racket, and that'll kill the economy. Although actually the economy, when I'm just cruising, is not bad at all, and I'm getting 40 miles per gallon, which isn't bad actually. What is not so good is the automatic gearbox. So you put your foot down, and now we're taking off. It's just a little bit hesitant. Now, the cheaper models you can get with a manual gearbox, and speaking of cheaper models, you can have a less powerful diesel engine, but also a more powerful one, and you can get 2 more powerful petrol engines than this, so one with 240 horsepower and one with 300 horsepower. But that one's going to drink a lot of fuel because it's going to have to haul this heavy car about. Speaking of it being heavy, you do notice that the brakes need quite a good prod if you want to slow it down when you're going quickly. And when you are going quickly, such as on the motorway, it's not too bad in terms of noise, just a bit of wind whistle from up there. What isn't so great though is the view out the back window, because it's a really small back window and huge rear pillars, which kind of create blind spots. Not all that impressed with how this drives actually. It's only acceptable, and a Jaguar should be brilliant to drive.
So then, what's my verdict on the Jaguar E-Pace? Should you avoid it, consider it, shortlist it, or just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I think you should consider the Jaguar E-Pace. It's okay, but there are better small posh SUVs out there. To see how much you can save on a Jaguar E-Pace, or any car for that matter, click on the deals box to the right. Now, did you spot the Easter egg in the video? It was the cat food in the car's storage bin.